It's time for the Jupiter Joe Money Show. I'm Jenny Thomas, your host, and we have Jupiter Joe, our host as well.
That's right.
So everybody's talking about Roth conversions. We hear it in the news, we hear it on social media, we see it all the time.
Right.
And a lot of people know what a Roth is, but they don't really understand the conversion part of it or what the heck this is.
So it sounds great in theory. You know, we're going to do a Roth conversion, and all these guys out there recommending this to you don't really know how it works and why it's going to benefit you. I really feel it works if you're in two categories. Either you're younger, 50s or 60s, and if you're not going to need the money or you're going to need the money later, then it's a good thing to look at. But you have to understand how the taxes work on it. Everybody says the same thing when we talk about Roth conversion. They really don't know how they work. You're going to have to pay taxes. Well, guess what? You have to pay taxes no matter what, okay? If you're going to convert to a Roth, you're going to pay taxes. But there are super big benefits to do so, and that's why we're going to talk about this today. But there are also some benefits that don't benefit you at all if you're a year out from retirement. We were talking about this in your office before, how I get phone calls from people and people that sit in my office and they go, well, you know, they're going to be 6 months out from retirement or a year out from retirement. They say, well, let's convert to a Roth. And I go, okay, that's not going to help you. Do you need the income? Yeah, we need the income. Well, converting to a Roth is not going to help you if you need income within a year, okay, because you're just going to get less income. Okay, let's just explain it. If you have a $100,000 IRA, 401k, whatever the plan is called, and you want to convert it to a Roth, and you pay 22% taxes, okay, you're going to have $75,000 left. Is your income going to be more or less with $75,000 versus $100,000?
Less.
Less. It's pretty simple. But people somehow think they're going to get more money if they convert to a Roth. You get less money. Okay. Now, if you let it build and you convert it and you wait 5 years, whatever that doubles to, yes, then it would be tax-free income. But this is a planning. You know, it's a planning tool. I always tell people when they come in my office, you know, you may have a plan now, but you don't have a plan of action. Mm-hmm. And a plan of action incorporates how you're going to get from point A to point B and meeting and reaching your goals. And that's what I specifically do for clients. And that's what you do for your clients, right?
Right. So when you talk about goals, so if your goal is to retire and you want to live off the investments, the income, mm-hmm. rather than, just leaving it there. Mm-hmm. So it really depends if you need income now or you need income later, or you don't need income.
Well, look, let's stay on point. The Roth conversion is a great way to go if you don't need the money now and you don't need the money later. The biggest benefit is letting the money accumulate tax-free for the next 5 or 10 or 15 years, and then you decide you want to take an income distribution. It's going to be 100% tax-free if you hold it for 5 years or more. More importantly, it's more of an estate planning kind of leave it to the kids' beneficiary benefits mm-hmm. thing. Let me explain. If you leave your son or daughter or family a 401k, it's 100% taxable at ordinary income tax to the person who receives it, right? And they don't have a choice. They either take it in one lump sum or they take it over 10 years. Either way, you're paying the tax. If you leave a Roth IRA, you've made the conversion, they're going to get the money 100% tax-free when you leave it to them. Right. Tax-free. Nothing beats tax-free, right? Ed Slott, who's the guru on this stuff, says there's the biggest tax benefits there are in the IRS. Number one is life insurance, and number two is the Roth conversion. Mm-hmm. And I believe in that wholeheartedly. The problem is everybody tells you how bad life insurance is, but they really don't know how good it is. The second thing is the Roth conversion. They go, well, you got to pay tax. And anybody that says that really doesn't know what they're talking about, because you have to pay tax no matter what. It's whether it's going to benefit you and your family and the reasons why you want to accomplish this, right?
Exactly. And in your book, The Retirement Know-It-All, you say one of the biggest tax breaks is the Roth IRA. It is 100% tax-free while you live, and while you take out withdrawals, it has no required distributions, and you can pass it to your heirs 100% tax-free as a death benefit. What is wrong with this? Nothing.
There's nothing wrong with it, right? You just have to know about it. Now, what we do is we get into it. Now, here's the problem that everybody has. They have this... They come with baggage. Their neighbor. We just got off the phone. You heard the conversation with this gentleman. My neighbor told me not to do this. Don't listen to your neighbor. What does your neighbor know about anything? Now, if he's qualified and he's got years of experience and he's got a degree in this or he does this for a living, wonderful. This is some random person who says, don't do this or don't do that. You got to really watch who you're taking your information from, right? That's why we sit down with somebody for 45 minutes for free. We're going to see if I can answer your questions. I'm going to see if the answers to your questions are going to fit your needs, you know, and we're going to talk, you know. I don't know if a Roth conversion is right for you just because you call up and say, hey, I'm 65, I need a Roth conversion. That's not how it works. What are you trying to accomplish? Are you leaving the assets to your family? Oh, no, I'm going to live off the money. Well, then a Roth conversion probably will not help you. You're just going to get less money. I had one lady call me on the phone. I never forget the conversation. It was on my cell phone. And she said, I need a Roth conversion. I said, she says, I need a Roth. And I go, why? She says, I'm retiring in 6 months. I go, it's not going to benefit you. I heard it's going to benefit me. I said, yeah, if you have 6 years, not 6 months. I said, you're going to get less money. Oh, no. That's not what my friend told me. My friend told me I'm going to get more money. Well, go talk to your friend who knows all about it, because you're going to get less money if you convert to a Roth. It's great and it's beneficial if you leave it there and you don't touch it and you're leaving it to your family, or you want to take income later, 5 years plus, because if your amount that you convert goes from 100,000 to 200,000, now it's that 100% gain that you got is 100% tax-free. Now it benefits you, but not immediately. It's going to take time. That's the big problem.
That's why it's so important to give Jupiter Joe a call. Go to jupiterjoe.com. You can book your free appointment or give us a call, 561-743-0999.
So let's talk about something here. I went and seen Ed Slott. He actually is, I know somebody that he knows, and we ended up talking to each other after he was off stage in Orlando, Florida. If you don't know who Ed Slott is, I used to give his books away before I had my book, and it was How to Parlay Your IRA into a Family Fortune. One of the best books I've ever read. And he talks in there about how to leave your money to your grandkids tax-free. Some of the laws have changed a little bit, but it's still possible to do. You can leave a lot of money to your kids and your grandkids tax-free by putting it in a Roth IRA. Right. And the reason I gave his books out, because it was so imperative that people would understand what a Roth can really do for you. Listen, no tax now, no tax later. Leave it to your kids tax-free. No RMDs. We were just talking about required minimum distributions and what a pain in the butt they are for some people that turn 73. And they don't understand. Some people that don't need the RMDs, they don't understand why they have to take the money. And we can show you ways to avoid this. Now, I was talking to you specifically before, when we knew we were going to talk about this. I said, why not have somebody that doesn't need the RMD use their RMD? Now, I've never heard this. I came up with this in your office today.
This morning.
Why not take your RMD, your required minimum distribution, and use that money to convert to a Roth? Some of your money. Here's the problem. Everybody thinks you got to convert the whole IRA or 401k immediately. You do not. You can take time and you can convert it over a period of time, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever it is, and you can spread the tax out over that period of time. That's why somebody says you got to pay the tax doesn't know what they're talking about, because you can spread the tax. Now, further, we were talking that some of these bonus annuities we have are a tremendous vehicle. You could use the bonus to pay the tax bill.
Yes.
So let's say your tax bill is 12%, and I get you a 10 or a 12% bonus. Let's say it's 12. What tax are you paying? We're going to give you a bonus of 12%. You could pull that out. You'll pay tax on it, but you can start converting some of your money, right?
I see.
Not a bad deal.
That's a good thing, because then you know that you have this amount that's still going to be taxable, and then you have your Roth where you know that's going to be tax-free, whether you leave that to your family or you use it.
So just in my own situation, I have a large IRA, and I have not converted all of it yet because I don't want to pay the taxes, right? I don't want to pay this, but I know how to do it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until I'm in my 70s to start converting it, because then I won't need the money. If I don't need the money, then it goes to you guys 100% tax-free. That's why you have to know your situation. You have to know your goals. Do you need income? Do you not need income? Is your goal to leave the money to the kids, or is your money, are you using the money for future needs? We've been having a lot of folks call recently saying that they might go into independent living, and they have IRAs, 401ks, and they're saying, hey, we're going to go into independent living. And we want to make sure we have enough money to pay for this. How do we do that, Joe? Roth is not a consideration because you're worried about just paying the bills and making sure you don't get thrown out of the place. And that has happened to clients. I've had a client in California, very wealthy guy, worked for Johnson & Johnson, big giant corporation. And he was a huge executive with him, big bucks. And he got thrown out of his, I won't say thrown out, but they said to him, hey, look, you got 6 months, either pay the bill or leave. And because the market had went down so much in 2010, 11, and 12, that his money went down and his income therefore went down and he couldn't pay the bills for the place anymore. You know, if you're in a high-end community and you're paying $10,000, $12,000 a month, I don't care who you are, you got issues if the market goes down significantly and you're pulling $10,000 or $12,000 out of your account, right?
Exactly.
So you got to be careful with this stuff, and you got to know your goals and what is the purpose of this money. What are you trying to accomplish? That dictates what we can do for you.
If you're just tuning in, this is a Jupiter Joe Money Show. We come to you each and every week on Wednesday and Thursdays at 6 p.m. and also on Saturday mornings. You can check us out on YouTube, take a look at our past episodes, and make sure you subscribe to our channel.
Yep.
Jupiter Joe Money Show.
You know, I want to talk about something today. I got my hat on, right? Because I got hat hair.
You do.
I ran into the house today. I didn't even know we were going to do this. We were supposed to do this next week. You know, we're kind of busy seeing clients right now. It's tax season, you know, just so you know. One guy told me the other day, he says, you know, I didn't hear from you for 2 days, Joe. That's unusual. Is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. We're just busy. It's tax season. A lot of people are calling us right now. The stock market is very challenging. The Iran war is going on. Trump is, you know, doing things. Every time he talks, somebody gets worried. So we're very, very busy. And I got my hat on today. And I was just thinking about a guy I know on the West Coast who used to do seminar selling, you know, doing what we do. And he used to say to people, he never wore a tie. He hated ties. So he would go in and talk to people and he'd have a jacket on and a nice shirt, but he would have no tie. And he'd say, look, deal with me not because I don't wear a tie, but because of who I am. And that's kind of me. Look, I can go on air right now and just talk to you guys like regular people, because that's who we are, with a hat on. You know, it's just funny. I was just thinking about that guy.
A regular Joe.
A regular Joe. There you go. Jupiter Joe. There you go.
So we have some questions. Can I own an IRA and also a Roth IRA?
Sure.
So you can have both.
Sure. You can have a 401k and an IRA and a 401k and a Roth. Of course, there's limitations on income and all that kind of stuff. Most people we're talking to that come in our office can do both. And a lot of them don't take advantage of it. Here's the problem. Your 401k is not the end all to saving money, and it's not the end all to reducing taxes further. Now, I will tell you, anybody comes in my office, I'll tell them max out your 401k. It's still a great way to go. But once you want to start transitioning into retirement or plan for retirement, you may want to start transitioning some of that money out as a carve out, like we always talk about. But yes, I would have a 401k, a Roth, and if you own a business on the side, maybe you have a SEP account, you know?
Right. And that all comes down to the tax amount, you know, the amount that you're able to put in.
Correct.
With the IRS.
The contribution limits.
Yes.
There you go.
And it all depends on what your goals are.
Yep. Listen, goals are everything, you know? So I'm listening to all this Instagram stuff, right? I'm watching and I'm going, oh, yeah, Roth conversion, isn't it? The stuff they say on there is unbelievable. Of course, they're just running an ad just so they get response. But people read that and they go, oh, yeah, I need a Roth conversion. They have no clue why. The ad is just telling you to convert. They're not telling you why you should convert. Each person is different. Each person we talk to, our clients are all unique. We had a gentleman in the office the other day, and he was telling me how he converted his IRA to Roth IRA, and it's been the best thing that he did. But he doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the money. He's leaving the money to his kids. If you're doing that, then most likely a Roth IRA is a good way to go. But if you need the income, like I said at the beginning of the show, a Roth is not going to help you. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this today, Roth, is because we have programs with these annuities where we can give you a large bonus that will offset the cost of converting to a Roth. Is that worth it? Most likely, yes. And we can show you how that does. And we had a plan. You showed me a $500,000 deal where we converted over 5 years. And at the end of 5 years, you put in $500, we pay the tax over 5 years. And at the end of 5 years, you have $850,000. Now, and that money now is 100% tax-free. You got to hold it for 5 years, but it's 100% tax-free money. You can take that principal out if you want, anytime you want. And not pay tax on it, basically. Okay. The gains you have to wait 5 years to take. Okay. We know all these rules and regulations, and we help you follow through with it. Anybody listening right now, what I'm trying to get at is, look, there are things you should do and things you shouldn't do. I hate shows that talk about all the do's, the don'ts, all the don't show, right? Don't do this. Like I watch these golf shows, how to get a better swing. And all they do is show you the bad swing first for 15 minutes. Show me how to do it, right?
Yeah.
It's that simple.
So in your book, The Retirement Know-It-All, you also say the tax liability is most important when passing assets. Where your money ends up and how it is taxed is significantly more important than the rate of interest you earn. Yep. Ask your advisor, what is more important, earnings or taxes?
Yeah, taxes. I've been talking with clients about this for years. What is your, listen, I don't want to come down on anybody. You have to know your tax bracket. Okay. So here's the other problem people have with this Roth conversion stuff. They go, I'm going to go into a new bracket. And they think somehow their bracket goes from 12% to 50%. It doesn't. Okay. Most likely you're going to be in a 22% tax bracket and you're going to go to 24%. Or sometimes you stay right in the 22% bracket. How do I know this? Because I look. Mm-hmm. If you're making 100,000 and you're going to convert 100,000, well, now you receive 200,000 that year. Most likely you're in the same bracket, the 22% tax bracket. So you don't go into higher brackets. This is why you have to know what you're talking about, and you have to talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about. You can't just haphazardly go, you know what? I want to convert to a Roth today. In theory, yes, it sounds great. And there are pros and there are cons, but you got to know all the pros and the cons and why you're doing this and what you're trying to accomplish. I can't emphasize this more, you know?
Jupiter Joe is a financial advisor for over 40 years. We have an office here in Jupiter and we'd love to help you. Go to jupiterjoe.com. Give us a call, 561-743-0999.
Yeah, get a copy of the book. You know, Retirement Know-It-All was put together specifically so you know about this stuff more than your neighbor, okay? I mean, I can't tell you who advises you. You can listen to anybody you want, but try to listen to somebody that knows what they're talking about. And as much as we talk about this, and I've done seminars on this, radio shows on this, podcasts on it, listen to somebody that knows what they're talking about and hire somebody that you really think knows about this stuff. There are so many people giving information about this and about any topic today. You know, just go on Instagram and you'll see the stuff that's on there. These people are maniacs, you know, they're giving information about stuff that is so complicated that, and they just tell you to do it, and it doesn't make any sense. And it's not just Instagram; it's all of them out there, all the social media sites. They make this stuff up, and you go with it. It's stupid, you know. And AI now, I sent Jenny an AI, and it was some guy, and it was funny as heck, but it was AI. I didn't know until Evan told me it was AI.
Yeah.
You know? So there's some stuff out there you got to really be careful with, you know. Exactly.
So it doesn't really matter. You're still going to be paying the taxes. Everybody talks about taxes. I have to pay the taxes. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to pay the taxes either way.
This is what I used to say in my seminars all the time. And we did seminars down here for 20 plus years. And I would say, look, whether you pay the taxes individually yourself, who the IRA is in or the 401k is, either you're going to pay it, your spouse is going to pay it, or your kids are going to pay it. There's no way around it. Now, there's only two ways, okay, after I say that. Roth and life insurance. I can tell you how to do it with life insurance too, okay? But everybody will tell you how bad life insurance is. Well, if that's what you think, that's fine. All I know is that for every dollar I put out now, I could get 3 back tax-free in the future for my kids. Mm-hmm. Is that a good deal? I think so. The only problem is you got to die to get it, right?
Right.
Okay, but with Roth, you don't have to die, and you can use the tax benefits and have tax-free income later. But there's timing. You got to have the timing. When is the right time to convert this? Mm-hmm. There you go.
What about an inherited IRA?
So we're getting a lot of inherited IRAs, unfortunately, and that means a loved one passed away. Maybe it's a brother, a sister, a cousin, or whoever it was, your mom, your dad. And an inherited IRA will basically roll over that IRA to you. And there's 2 ways to do it. Either you can take depending on the year the person passed away, they can either do a 10-year payout or they can pay the tax all at once. Okay. The older ones where they died previous to that date, I can't remember the date right now. We look it up. But if you died before that date, then you could take the RMD for that person who passed away. And then it's spread out for years and years and years. And that's the stretch provision, but that's been done away with, right?
Right.
So
See, you really know this stuff.
I do, and there's a lot into it. I got to tell you something funny. Fred Prince was in the other day, and we were talking about how you got all these stories, Joe. And listen, I've been doing this for a long time, so I've accumulated this amount of wealth about not just what I do, but about the stuff that happens to me. So inevitably, I used to do seminars all the time, and we would talk about stretch IRA, we would talk about Roth conversion, we would talk about transferring assets in the most tax efficient way, and sometimes we get a phone call the next day, and it would go like this. Hey, Joe, I just went to my bank, and I talked to the girl behind the counter, who's 20, and told me there's no such thing as the stretch IRA. And I go, you're right, there's no such thing as the stretch IRA. You can't buy one. It's a provision in the tax code that you use, okay? And unfortunately, what this world is about is who you listen to. If you want to keep listening to the know-it-alls or the people who think they know it all when they know nothing, and I mean that sincerely, the more I call companies to do business with that I have to call for whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's so bad out there. It really is. Yeah. And now I understand why people come to us. We answer the phones, for God's sake. We take a message. If I'm busy, you're busy. Dana takes a message, Evan takes a message, and we actually follow up with a phone call, a personal phone call. I called FPL the other day. I'm trying to get through to them. I had a bill, I had a charge. I can't get through to a human being. Mm-hmm. This AI crap is crap. Let me tell you, it really is. It's ridiculous. I can't get through to a person with FPL. What kind of world is this? You pay them money, and they have no responsibility. What is going on?
It's crazy.
It is, seriously.
Well, especially when it comes to your money.
Yeah.
If you can't get your money, how is your family going to?
It's funny. I have clients all the time that come to us and they'll say, I called my current advisor, and number one, they don't call me back personally because you deal with the assistant. Okay. I have had so many clients in the last probably 2 or 3 years actually say to me, hey, Joe, you know what? We went to you because you actually answer the phone calls. Mm-hmm. They're surprised that I actually meet with them in person.
The first time.
So I went to one of these seminars. I'll never forget this. I went to one of these seminars years ago. I'm always about improving my education about whatever it is. And I went to this seminar about something. I can't remember what it was. It was actually down at the Jupiter Resort. Okay.
Oh, yeah, well, that's nice.
Yeah, this is probably 10 years ago. And it advertised this guy who was the guru of whatever it was. And I got in there, and the guy comes out running out, and it's not the guy.
Really?
It's some assistant guy. And he's like, oh, so-and-so's in California, but I'm here today.
Oh, man.
And there was only like 5 people in the audience. It was so embarrassing. And I said, you can't do that to people,
No.
I don't know. It's like saying you want a Whopper and you're getting a little tiny, Happy Meal.
Disappointed.
It's very disappointing. So anyway, that's what we don't do to clients. We show you what we do for a living, and hopefully we can help you, right?
Exactly. And I think that's one of the reasons why we do this show is for helping people, information and education. Mm-hmm. So go to jupiterjoe.com. Take a look at us, what we do, who we are, and request a copy of Joe's book. It's free. Go to jupiterjoe.com. You can give us a call, 561-743-0999.
In the book, I'll end with this. In the book, I actually talk about, and I used to have this big chart that I'd put up when I did the presentation years ago with my seminars, and it said, which would you rather leave your family member? Would you like to leave them $1 million in an IRA? Would you like to leave them $1 million in a 401k? Would you like to leave them $1 million in life insurance, or would you like to leave them $1 million Roth? Which would be the best way for you? And so many people would say, or pick any stock you want, $1 million in Google stock. Which would you rather leave your family? And inevitably, people would actually pick all the accounts that were taxable. I'd rather leave my family stock. Well, there's a stepped-up basis, but basically they're going to pay tax at some point down the road, and they may lose value. The answer is Roth and life insurance. It's the 2 best ways to transfer assets in the most tax-efficient way. And you can also use life insurance and annuities, if it's Roth, with no tax, income-wise. So you can use life insurance for tax-free income as well. There's a lot of people selling this IUL stuff, Index Universal Life. We do it. I don't do it as much as I'd like to do it because some people find it very complicated. But it's like anything else, just like this Roth conversion stuff. You have to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
I know about it. You're learning about it. And it takes a special person to understand how it fits each person individually. And that's what we can do for you.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the Jupiter Joe Money Show. Go to jupiterjoe.com or call Jupiter Joe now, 561-743-0999, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.